Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're focusing on Nigeria, specifically looking at the work of the Oladele Fajemirokun Foundation, or OFF.
That's right.
Our main source here is a really interesting report from BBC World News that came out December 2024.
And Nigeria, well, it faces some huge challenges, doesn't it? Things like poverty, malnutrition, and getting kids a good education. They're all kind of interconnected.
Definitely.
And this foundation, OFF, they've only been around about 4 years, but they seem to be emerging as, well, a bit of a beacon of hope, offering a really compelling model.
Absolutely. And for you listening, that's our goal today. We want to really dig into what OFF is doing, their main initiatives, and get a clearer picture of how they're tackling these quite complex issues. The BBC report kicks off by highlighting OFF's commitment to education, which feels like a good place for us to start, too.
Yeah, and a key part of that is their school feeding program. They expanded it to Lagos Island Primary School back in October 2024. And what the report really stresses is that this isn't just about, giving out food. It's providing nourishment, yes, but also, crucially, hope for kids facing hunger, tackling that barrier to learning head on.
That link is just so direct, isn't it? Between being fed and being able to learn. The report actually quotes Mrs. Oladele Fajemirokun. She's the executive director. And she says something like, education is the foundation, but children can't learn on empty stomachs. It really underlines that connection.
Exactly. She adds that the program ensures they get the nutrition and the tools they need to succeed. It's holistic.
Does the report mention sort of the impact beyond just the meal itself on the kids?
It does, yeah. It suggests teachers have noticed better concentration, kids seem more attentive when they're part of the program.
Makes sense.
Which, obviously helps create a better learning environment and hopefully better results over time.
Why?
Then there's also their back-to-school initiative.
Right. What does that involve?
Well, providing basics like school bags, sandals, writing materials. Sounds simple, maybe? But when you think about the financial pressures on families, these things can make a huge difference. It eases the burden and, helps with the child's dignity, too.
That's a really important point. Okay, so the report then moves on to malnutrition. And the figures cited are, frankly, quite alarming.
They really are.
1 in 3 kids under 5 stunted. Over 2 million with acute malnutrition. That's staggering.
It is. And this is where OFF's Sustainable Malnutrition Intervention Program comes in. It's quite clever, actually.
That's all.
They take this dual approach. First, they train hundreds of vulnerable mothers, train them how to prepare meals that are affordable but still really nutritious using local foods.
Okay, practical skills.
Very practical. But then, and this is key for the sustainable part, they add vocational skills training on top.
So it's not just about the immediate food need.
Exactly. It's about empowering these mothers to earn a living, giving them a way to achieve food security for their families in the long run. The report probably digs into why malnutrition is so high, food insecurity, access issues.
Yeah. And it even gives an example, doesn't it? A beneficiary who actually started her own catering business through the program.
That's right. A brilliant example of how skills lead to independence, to real lasting change.
Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Were there other skills mentioned besides catering?
Yes. The report touched on things like tailoring, making and mending clothes, hairdressing, always in demand, and food processing, too, like adding value to local produce.
So skills relevant to their local communities.
Precisely. Skills with real potential for income. And the report also highlights how OF responds to immediate crises, like the food distribution in Ifawara, Osun State.
Oh, yeah. That was January 2024.
Yeah.
And food inflation then was, what was it, over 30%?
A shocking 32.84%. Yeah. So distributing food packages to over 400 households at that specific time, that was absolutely critical.
Just essential support when people were really struggling. Shows they can react quickly.
It really does show their agility. But alongside that immediate relief, they maintain the long-term stuff, like the feeding program at a Kodo local government primary school.
Right.
The report notes that over the last 10 months or so there, they've seen real improvements, better attendance, better academic performance.
Again, reinforcing that link between consistent food and kids actually doing well in school.
Absolutely. It becomes a reliable source of nutrition that families can count on day in, day out.
It's clear their vision goes beyond just meeting basic needs, though. They're looking to the future, aren't they? With things like the Business Innovation and Talent Expression Program, BITE.
Yes, BITE. That sounds like a fantastic initiative, investing in young innovators.
What kinds of ideas were coming out of that? The report mentions an event at the University of Lagos.
Yeah, that event sounded pretty dynamic. They had over 300 entries, young entrepreneurs pitching ideas.
Wow.
And the ideas covered quite a range, it seems. Tech solutions, some agri-innovations focused on food security, creative stuff like arts and fashion, too.
So a real mix. What were they looking for?
Things like, is the plan feasible? Does it have social impact potential? Is the idea genuinely innovative? And they awarded prize money, 2 million split among 10 finalists.
That's serious seed money to help get those ideas going.
Definitely a significant boost. And it raises that interesting point, about how backing youth entrepreneurship can actually spark wider economic growth.
And the fact that they're planning to scale it up, make Byte a regional competition across the Southwest. That really shows confidence in the model.
It does. It speaks volumes about its success and their ambition, which kind of brings us back to Ossoff's whole philosophy, doesn't it?
Yeah, the report really emphasizes this idea of sustainable change. It's not just charity, it's empowerment.
That's the core message, I think. Whether it's the school meals, the BITE program, or the skills training for mothers, it's all designed to build capacity to create lasting change within communities. Mrs. Fajimirokun's vision, you mentioned her quote earlier, but her overall vision is for communities where no child goes hungry, no parent feels helpless, and no family is left behind. That really captures the depth of their commitment.
It's a powerful vision. And the BBC report makes it pretty clear that Araf's work is a testament to what collective effort can achieve. They're actually putting out a call, aren't they?
They are. They're actively inviting others, individuals, organizations to partner with them. Through donations, yes, but also through advocacy, spreading the word.
Which is so important for this kind of work.
Absolutely vital. Tackling these big issues needs everyone pulling together. And they make it easy to connect. The report shares their social media handles, Instagram and Twitter, and a YouTube link, too.
Right, so people can find out more if they're inspired.
Exactly. It provides those pathways for people to learn more, maybe get involved, and support that mission for a better Nigeria kids, nourished, educated, equipped for the future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on the Oladele Fajemirokun Foundation, what are the sort of key things you think we should take away?
Well, I think it's the sheer comprehensiveness of their approach. OF isn't just doing one thing, they're connecting the dots. Education through feeding and supplies, tackling malnutrition by empowering mothers, responding to crises, and investing in future innovation with BITE. It's this interconnected strategy aimed at real sustainable change from the ground up.
Yeah, it's impressive. And for you, our listener, hopefully this gives you a clear, concise look at how one foundation, even a relatively young one, is making real headway on some incredibly tough global challenges. It's just a powerful example of what focused, holistic work can do.
And maybe that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Seeing what OF is achieving, this multi-pronged approach, it really makes you think about the power of these kinds of local, community-focused initiatives, doesn't it?
It really does.
Perhaps it prompts us to consider, could similar models work elsewhere, in other places facing similar hurdles? Or even just thinking about how our own individual actions, our support can contribute to this kind of vital work happening all around the world.